Right. Uh, Good evening, everyone. We hope all of you are doing fine. All of you are remaining healthy in this last 5 to 6 months of lockdown. Your near and dear ones are safe. I welcome all of you to yet another session of Click to Clinic, in which in the last few months of the lockdown, we have been trying to help our clients, our partners, and people at large across India and the globe to remain fit, remain healthy, and step out of their houses only when it's an emergency or when it's really required. Last few months, we have touched upon several specialities. We have had medical experts, doctors, fitness experts to help you remain healthy and fit. And today, with our partners, North Cap University, we are very glad and we warmly welcome Dr. Sanjay Dhawan sir. So just to begin with a very brief and small introduction, because he has a experience of more than 30 plus years in ophthalmology in India. So Sir was a gold medalist. He was honored by our former president, Shri K.R. Narayanan in 1995 when he was in the Delhi University. He is presently heading Max Healthcare across Delhi NCR, all the units since 2015 as the director of ophthalmology division. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are. Yeah.
Right. Okay. And he has been passionately working in the field of ophthalmology and has had immense success. I am myself a witness to that for the last 7+ years. And he has been achieving clinical and surgical excellence at par. And today he's with us mainly because he has a keen interest in teaching medical students, the community at large, for spreading awareness about eye health and eye care. And he's been actively involved in the management aspects of ophthalmology since the last 16+ years. He's included in the project planning, implementation, marketing, people management, basically. He's been heading all these divisions. And his aspiration is actually to create a center of excellence for ophthalmology in India, where the treatment is ethical, it's compassionate, people can benefit out of it, while purely focused on the interest of patients. His specialities include refractive surgery, cataract, and healthcare management. So, sir, after I welcome you again on behalf of Click to Clinic and North Cap University and all the guests present here today. And I pass on the baton now to Aditi, who will just share in a brief about NCU and why we have collaborated today and welcomed you today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vivek, for felicitating me with the baton of hosting today's webinar. I would like to begin with a short and crisp introduction of our university, as Mr. Vivek has already gave a premonition you about. So, and along with that, our club too, which is collaborating with Dr. Sujit Reddy's Click to Clinic today. The North Cap University continues to be the leader among the private universities in Delhi and Haryana in the NIRF ranking. The university encourages overall holistic development of students and promotes participation in several extracurricular activities throughout its various clubs and societies. Club Success Mantra of NCU encourages and propels students to imbibe the qualities of empowered leadership and intend to develop soft skills of an individual like business communication, teamwork, analytical skills, and more to prepare the leaders of tomorrow. The community wing of Success Mantra focuses on mental, physical, and emotional well-being of individuals. The aim has always been to create awareness of and enlighten today's youth for a golden tomorrow. And to enlighten you further all about today's mantra of eye care, I would gladly call upon Dr. Sanjay, whose beautiful introduction was given by Mr. Vivek. The man of the hour himself is amongst us, and let the captains turn the wheel through the sea of his incredible knowledge. Presenting next on the screen is the doctor himself. And in case, dear attendees, you are not acquainted to the rules, let me repeat them for you. The questions and the queries all are supposed to be posted in the chat box there. And the stage is all yours, Dr. Dhawan. Rather, I should say the virtual stage is all yours, Dr. Dhawan.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Vivek. Thank you, Aditi, for a nice welcome, a very lively welcome, and a very lively introduction also. And thank you, Click2 Clinic and North Cap University for inviting me over here. I'll be happy to share my knowledge and information with you all.
Thank you, sir.
I think let me start sharing my screen first, and then we can start talking about today's subject. So eye health in the digital age. So today is the age of screens, basically, and ever since screens have come in to our life, they've brought in a lot of good things, a lot of bad things along with them. Good things was all the information boom that happened, the entertainment boom that happens. First to come when was the TV, the so-called idiot box, and a big large screen placed far off, and then came the computer screen, and then came the laptop screen, and the tablet, and then the phone, and now the smartwatches. So as the time is progressing, the screens are becoming smaller and they're becoming closer, and the smaller and the closer they are, the more havoc they create in our lives, in our eyes. So what are the common conditions in this age which create problems in the eyes, and which we can do something about it on our own? The first and the foremost important condition is the computer vision syndrome, where the screens play the major havoc kind of role. There are other things which are dry eyes, infections, allergies, injury. But today's topic is mainly revolving around the first thing, that is the computer vision syndrome, which we will be elaborating in depth. I will only touch upon the other things towards the end. And I'll be happy to address any questions that the audience may have. So what exactly is computer vision syndrome? So anyone who spends long hours on the computers or any kind of screen develops problems and discomfort in the eye, which can be simply called the computer vision syndrome. Be it, as I said, be it the TV screen or a computer screen or a phone screen, and be it a small child who is doing the online classes these days, or a young adult who's playing video games on the computer, or an older person working in the offices on the screen, or say a retired person who's watching TV for long hours in a day. So across the ages, everybody gets affected by the adverse effects of prolonged hours spent on the screen. So it is the long hours spent on the screen which is the main cause of trouble in the eyes. And what all can it cause? It causes pain in the eyes, can cause redness in the eyes, watering in the eyes, irritation, discomfort, headaches, fatigue, irritability, poor concentration. It can adversely affect sleep. And if you continue to do it for long duration of time, over a period of days, weeks, months, and years, it can even lead to things like depression, loss of performance at work. It can lead to poor general health. And besides the eyes and other things, it can affect your neck. It can affect your back. So it is not just the eyes, but the entire body health which can get affected by sitting in front of computers for long duration. Why does this problem happen? So whenever you're sitting in front of any screen for long duration, our eyes are converging towards the screen, towards what we are focusing at, towards what we are reading at. So eyes are not parallel. So when you look at something far off, say at infinity, the eyes are parallel and relaxed and looking at far off thing. But the moment we start looking at a near object, the two eyes have to converge to align towards the point of our focus. So there's a convergence fatigue, because these muscles exert, they get fatigued. Also, when we pay attention to the screens, our blinking frequency goes down, as a result of which the tears starts evaporating more. It forms dry spots on the eye, on the cornea especially, which causes irritation, discomfort, redness, and reflex watering from the eyes. So one may say, okay, fine, why should it lead to dry eye? It leads to more watering. It forms dry spots, which leads to irritation, which leads to watering. So convergence fatigue and infrequent blinking is the main reason why the trouble happens in the eyes. Mind you, there are no harmful radiations coming from the screen. There are no UV radiation coming from the screen. Though it is said that the blue light emanating from any screen is also harmful over a long period of time, but that is a very, very slow, very slow, very prolonged process, and it's not as important as is the convergence fatigue and infrequent blinking. So how do we recognize that? So somebody who's been using screens for long duration, if they complain of pain and discomfort in the eye, especially towards the second half of the day, if they notice blurring of vision, if they notice fluctuation of vision, redness, watering headache, irritability, discomfort, inability to sleep very well, and sometimes even doubling of vision. So not only there is a blurring of vision, there can also be doubling of vision in advanced stages. So those are the symptoms or the signs of computer vision syndrome. But fortunately, the treatment or the solution is not very difficult. What to do? First of all, visual hygiene is most important. That is some precautions to be taken. You must keep this screen or the monitor as far from the eyes as is possible, but definitely about 2 to 3 feet away at a comfortable distance. The screen should be placed high up so that your back, neck is straight. You're looking straight ahead at the screen. You're not bending forward. See, nobody bends the neck like this, but a slight bend in the neck is bad for the neck, bad for the spine, bad for the back. So the neck, back, and head should be absolutely ramrod straight looking at the screen. So the screen has to be placed straight ahead, high up. It is better to have a standing workstation than a sitting workstation, because when you sit and work at the screen, you're bound to slouch, you're bound to have a bad posture. So if you can adopt a standing workstation, it'll be good for you. Moreover, the longer you stand, the more tired you feel in the feet, the lesser time you'll spend on the screens also. So do not gaze at the screens constantly for long duration. Every 10-15 minutes, yes, every 10-15 minutes, take your eyes off, turn your head back, close your eyes for 1 minute and give rest to your eyes. So in this process, you're not just giving rest to your eyes, but you're also turning your neck back, you're giving rest to your neck as well. So every 10 to 15 minutes, 1 minute's break to give rest to your eyes is an absolute must. And every hour or so, you must take a longer break. So 5 minutes break. Fortunately, the online classes for the kids these days is only 45 minutes long. There's a 15 minutes break after that. That 15 minutes break is not meant for playing video games on the screen, mind you. So that 15 minutes break is meant for giving rest to your eyes, rest to your body, move your body. So after 45 minutes or after 1 hour, just go around for a walk, walk around, run around, keep your eyes shut, give your eyes rest. Don't look at any screen, don't look at any text, don't look at anything near it. Look at something far off if you have to. So every 10-15 minutes, break for 1 minute. Every 1 hour, break for 5 minutes is a must for that. Make a conscious effort to blink more frequently and avoid sitting in an air-conditioned room or an air condition facing directly. So because the draft of the AC or draft of the fan hitting your face will cause more dryness to the eye. So make sure that you blink more frequently and avoid any direct air hitting your face when you're working on the screens, especially so in the air-conditioned offices and all. So this is a basic visual hygiene which one can take care of. Then, as I said, that the convergence fatigue is the reason for discomfort. So you must strengthen your eye muscles by doing regular convergence exercises. Now let me demonstrate the exercises to you, and you must listen to this, see this very clearly. For doing the eye exercises, sit straight or stand straight, and first look at something very far off, say outside the window or so, some small far off object. Then hold out a pen, keeping the tip at level with your eyes, and look at this tip. Very slowly bring the tip close to your eyes. The tip should remain single and clear, and the moment you feel some strain on your eyes, hold it there for 10 seconds. After 10 seconds, slowly take the tip back to an arm's length and again hold it here for 10 seconds. Then again, bring it slowly back to the point where you feel some strain on your eyes. Repeat this process 10 times and then again look at something far off. Again repeat this process 10 times and then again look at something far off. So to begin with, do it for about 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes in the evening. And very slowly over the next I can hear some sounds in between. Can you please mute your mic? So very slowly over the next few weeks, increase the duration to make it about 10 to 15 minutes in the morning and evening. Continue to do these exercises twice a day for 10 to 15 minutes each for the next 3 months. After that, once in a day for 5 minutes, if you do it regularly, it'll maintain a very good muscle strength. And that'll be enough to take care of your... I'm sorry for this interruption. So regular eye exercises twice a day should be done. Do these exercises at a time when you're relatively fresh and comfortable. If you're already strained and tired or having a pain in the eyes or having a headache, please don't do the exercises now. So when you're fresh in the morning or after having rested in the evening, do these exercises regularly. Convergence exercises is the single most important step which you can take to prevent discomfort caused by screens. So maintain the health of the eyes. This is the most important thing. I cannot overemphasize the importance of this. I will try to send the instruction file to you on the chat also, which has all the instruction for the eye exercises, but I've already demonstrated to you. You can look at, come back and look at it again. Then, some eye drops and glasses can also be of help. So if suppose you're using prescription glasses, you've got myopia or astigmatism or hypermetropia or presbyopia, if you use any glasses, make sure that you do wear those glasses when you work on the screen. If you're not wearing any glasses, yes, you can wear plain glasses with a blue light filter. It may be of some help. Although it is not confirmed that blue light is harmful, but the recent studies have shown that there is some discomfort, some harm. So it is better to wear glasses because it will serve two purposes. One is that it will decrease the tear evaporation, so less dryness will happen. Secondly, it will cut out the blue light. So if there's any possible ill effect of blue light, that will be prevented. So wear your prescription glasses or a blue light filter plain glasses. If you feel a lot of soreness, dryness in the eyes when working on the screen, you can also use some simple lubricant eye drops. There are a lot of eye drops available in the market. If you just go to a chemist and ask for any tear substitute eye drops or any lubricant eye drops, you'll be able to find them. Rose water people ask for. If you can get a medical grade rose water, you can use that also. There's no harm in using that. Or simply washing your eyes with clean water is not a bad option either, but you should not wash your eyes too frequently. Washing the eyes twice or thrice a day is perfectly fine. Some lifestyle changes need to be made also. This is very, very important. We must make a conscious effort to cut down the screen time. Spend only as much time on screen as is really required for your work, for your education. Do not spend too much time. If you have to study a lot on the screens, if you have to work a lot on the screens, cut down the entertainment part. So guys, especially children and adolescents, make sure, you don't want to spoil and ruin your eyes. You don't want to come to a point where you cannot look at the screens at all. You want to enjoy the screens for the rest of your life. Now, screens are a very, very integral part of our life. So in order to be able to use the screens forever, we must keep our eyes healthy and strong. So it's very, very important to cut down the screen time. You should spend time outdoors also. You must go and play outdoors. You must do some physical activity outdoors. You must expose yourself to sun. People who do not expose to sun, who spend all the time indoors on the screens, they get depression. There's something called seasonal affective disorders or depression, which is caused by no exposure to sun. So to avoid that, you must go out now because sun exposure is required, physical activity is required. Your body needs to be healthy for your mind to be healthy as well. You must sleep more. You must take regular timed sleep. Extremely important. For children, minimum 8 hours of sleep is very, very important. So all the students must sleep for 8 hours minimum. Younger kids may need more sleep, maybe 9 to 10 hours. Older kids will need 8 hours of sleep. Don't think that if there are exams coming up, you should sleep less. No, you should sleep more. Before the exams, when you're studying more, the more you study, the more sleep you need. And as I said earlier also, standing workstation is better than sitting workstation. Larger screens kept further away are better than smaller screen placed close by. So a word of advice or caution to the parents, do not give phones to your kids to attend the classes. They're the worst kind of screen they can have. It should be at least a laptop or a computer which is placed high enough so that the child sees it from far off with the back and neck straight. So larger screens are better. Regular meals, plenty of water intake, and physical exercise, again, is very, very important for your eye health as well. So that was the computer vision syndrome, or the asthenopia caused, or the strain caused by the screens. The next is dry eye. What is dry eye? Dry eye, dry eye does not mean that the tears are less. Dry eye means that the tear film, which forms the front layer of the eye, is inadequate or deficient or unstable. And dry eye can happen when the tear secretion is reduced, or there's increased tear evaporation from the eyes, or the tear film is unstable. See, a very stable tear film or a wet surface of the eye is very, very important for clarity of vision and for the health of the eye. If this tear film is disturbed, it causes a lot of problems, and which is called the dry eye. So a decreased tear secretion, increased tear evaporation, unstable tear film, also irregularities on the eye surface, they all cause the dry eye condition. The various causes for it, is better to not to worry about those causes, but the most important cause these days is screens, air conditioning, pollution, very cold, very hot air, and some other disorders, some autoimmune disorders, some lid gland abnormalities, and old age also causes the dry eye. So excessive screen time, dry cold air, lid gland abnormalities, autoimmune disorders or diseases, and age are the factors which can cause dry eye. What is to be done for the dry eye? The treatment somehow is simple, but it's almost lifelong. Most important is the tear preservation. That is, you should decrease the tear evaporation, and thereby the role of decreasing the screen time. Decrease the screen time, make a conscious effort to blink more frequently when you work on the screens. Make sure that the air-conditioned air or the fan air is not hitting the face. Use glasses to prevent tear evaporation. Tear substitution or use of artificial tears drops. So the lubricant eye drops, there are a lot of lubricant eye drops available in the market, and you can take it over the counter. In case you have a very moderate to severe dry eye, meet an eye specialist, they'll prescribe you the appropriate one for your eyes. So the eye drops may be used, and these tear drops can be used quite frequently. Increase tear secretion. Again, there are some medicines which can actually help increasing the tear secretion also, but for that you'll have to consult an eye specialist. Then infections or what is called the conjunctivitis are also pretty common these days, and we must know at least the basics of that, because we can do a lot to prevent them and take the initial care of them. Conjunctivitis is also the infection of the surface of the eye. That is the most common eye infection, and it can come in the form of epidemics, in the rains, after the rains. These days, conjunctivitis is quite common. And the various causes of it, the most common causes are viruses and bacteria. What does it lead to? Redness, irritation, swelling, watering, discharge from the eye. We all know how the red eye looks like. So the typical red eye with irritation, discomfort, watering, discharge, stickiness of the lid, slight blurring of vision, mild pain, discomfort is basically conjunctivitis. What can be done to help that? Most cases of viral conjunctivitis are self-limiting. That means that they become okay in about 1 to 2 weeks time on their own, but they do cause a lot of discomfort. So to overcome that discomfort, some medicines are required. In case of a bacterial conjunctivitis, antibiotic eye drops are needed. Cold compresses can also help to decrease the swelling and provide comfort to the eye. But most important is maintaining hygiene. So never touch your eyes with dirty hands. If you happen to touch a dirty surface, or if you're taking care of somebody who's got some infection, use hand hygiene, wash your hands before you touch your face, your eyes. These days is more important because the COVID being around, you should never touch your eyes with your hand, because you can actually transmit not just conjunctivitis but also COVID through the stone. So COVID can actually enter your body through the eyes also. So wash your hands whenever you're touching your eyes. Maintain proper hygiene. Infection can also affect the lids, the eyelids. You can form those small little boils or painful swelling on the eyelid, the so-called stye. They're also called hordeolum externum or hordeolum internum. These are painful small nodules which form, and there's a pus point forming. It may burst and discharge the pus there. So what you need is, antibiotics to be taken orally, painkillers to be taken orally, and hot fermentation really helps in that. Again, hygiene is very, very important. People who get styes very, very frequently, they must, get this eyes checked up for any underlying refractive errors. So if there's any glasses number, then they must wear glasses to prevent that. And also strain in recurrent cases. So spending long hours on the screens can cause a lot of chronic strain, and that can cause recurrent stye or recurrent infection of the eyelids. Then there are eye allergies which are very, very common. So what are allergies? Allergies are that when the eyes are exposed to a particular allergic agent, it can cause intense itching in the eye. So intense itching is a hallmark of eye allergy. There can be redness, there can be watering, but there's usually no sticky discharge. There's no pus formation. There's no pus discharge like you get in the infective conjunctivitis. So there can be seasonal variation. Some people get seasonal allergies. Say in springtime, there's a lot of pollen in the air. Some people get allergy. Some people get allergy when they're exposed to animal dust. Some people get allergy when they're exposed to pollution outdoors or smoke outdoors. So most people would know that what they're allergic to. So they need to avoid the agent, avoid exposure to the thing that is causing them allergy. If they cannot avoid that, they have to take anti-allergic medicines in the form of eye drops or oral medicine. Cold compresses or ice packs can help relieve the symptoms of allergy also. Injuries are other things which people have to be aware of, especially young children who are active children actually playing around, indulging in various sports and activities. They have to be very, very careful about eye injuries. Injuries can be blunt injuries or what I call the non-penetrating eye injuries, which means that there's no poking into the eye, but just a blunt trauma to the eye. There can be penetrating injury into the eye where something has actually pierced into the eyeball. All the injuries can be potentially blinding. So we must take care to avoid those injuries. And whenever we are taking part in any activity or sport where there's a likelihood of injury, we must take proper precaution. So if you're going cycling, if you're going skateboarding, if you're going skating, you must wear, say, a protective helmet. You must wear protective glasses, to avoid injury to the eyes. So precautions are the most important thing. But in case of any injury to the eye, please consult an eye specialist at the earliest, because injuries can be really harmful for the eyes. Now, something about, say, I've already talked about convergence exercise for the eyes, but let us say yoga for the eyes. So yoga for the eyes is nothing but basically doing various forms of exercises. We talked about doing convergence exercises earlier in our talk, but in the next thing is to do is the rotation eye exercises. So besides the convergence exercises, you can also do the rotation of eye exercises. You can look to right, look towards left, look up, look down, look right up, left down, left up, right down, and then rotate the eyes clockwise, rotate the eyes anti-clockwise. So these various eye movements can be done as a form of yoga. Then you can do palming of the eyes. So for that, what you need to do is that if your hands are cold, just warm them up by rubbing with each other, and the heel of the hand, just close your eyes, just gently press your eyes with the palm of your hand or the heel of the hand. You can keep it very gently pressed for maybe about a minute or so. Don't press too hard because very high pressure is not good for the eyes. So palming of the eyes will also help. So what you could do is, if you spend a lot of time on the screens, every hour you could do palming of the eyes and rotation eye exercise. Convergence exercise will be done only twice a day, morning and evening, but rotation of the eyes and palming can be done every hour when you take a break from the screens. I'm often asked that what are the diets, what nutrition should one take for the eyes? One should take a very good, healthy, balanced diet for your overall health. If your overall health is good, your eye health will be good also. So fresh fruits, vegetables, natural kind of food are good for the eyes because they're good for your overall health. Carrots, fish liver oil, butter, etc. are supposed to be having a good source of vitamin A, but taking excess of vitamin A or eating too many carrots, or too much of fish liver oil will not really help. There should not be any deficiency of vitamin A in your body. So a balanced diet is what is required. And taking too much of vitamin A will not be of any help, but can be harmful also. So be careful when you're taking, don't take any artificial vitamin A. Just the natural source is good enough. So a good, natural, balanced diet, take frequent meals, take 4 meals in a day, never skip your meal, never delay your meals, and take plenty of water. Adequate hydration is very, very important. So this is the nutrition for the eyes. And most importantly, as a last final message, never ignore your eye. If you have any significant eye problem, any significant blurring of vision, any other symptoms, anything which is not going by simple rest and by the measures which I told you, consult an eye specialist, consult an eye doctor, consult an eye surgeon. So see, there are optometrists and there are ophthalmologists. Ophthalmologists are the eye doctors or eye specialists or eye surgeons. As a first point of contact, you should consult an ophthalmologist or an eye doctor. And if you have glasses, for the glasses number only, you should consult an optometrist. So if your eyes are otherwise healthy and fine and you only have glasses number and you want to get your glasses number checked, or you want to get contact lenses done, or you want to get glasses made, there's no harm in consulting optometrists or opticians on a regular basis. But if are there any other problems, then consulting an ophthalmologist is a good idea. I'm often asked that what is a good routine eye examination? How often should one get eyes checked up routinely? If your eyes are otherwise absolutely fine, nothing wrong with your eyes, then once in 2 years, a routine eye checkup for say young adults, for children is good enough. People who are 40 years or older should get their eyes examined once every year. But people who have got any eye problem, people who wear glasses or have any form of chronic or eye disease, they should get their eyes checked up more frequently. So if once you meet your eye specialist, they'll be able to tell you that how often to come back for the routine examination. But as a routine, the eyes must be examined when the child is born, at the age of 1 year, when the child goes to school at the age of 4 to 5 years, thereafter once every 2 years, and after the age of 40, once every year. But if there's any eye problem, like you wear glasses, or you got any family history of an eye disease, then more frequent eye examination is recommended. So that brings us to the end of the talk. Thank you very much for your patient hearing. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. And I'll try to send a couple of files on the chat which have got instruction for doing eye exercises, which got some precautions to be taken to prevent recurrent headaches, And also I'll try to send my contact info in case you want to get in touch with me. So thanks for your patient hearing.
Thank you, Dr. Dhawan, for the insightful presentation. It was truly spectacular. I will try to use as many eye puns that are possible for me to do today to make this event an iconic one, 101 more. So I hope I'm audible.
Yes, very much. Yes, thank you very much. Thanks for your lovely words. And yes, use of eye and
moreover the lovely presentation. Moreover the lovely presentation. So without any further lingering, let us move to the most exhilarating part of this whole episode, presenting to you, ladies and gentlemen, the question and answer round. So I'll just be posing up the questions in front of you, sir. The very first one is from Rahul. He asks, long computer screen timings can't be avoided. Please suggest best solution for less damage.
So yes, I agree that some people who work long hours on the screens, whose work involves sitting in front of the computer for long hours. So what they need to do, as I said, that every 10 to 15 minutes, turn your head back, close your eyes for 1 minute. So for students, you may think, okay, fine, this 1 minute off the screen, time is wasting time. No, it's not wasting time. What you could do is the strategy that you could adopt is read for 15 minutes and in 1 minute, close your eyes and try to recall what you read. It will help you in two ways. Number one, it'll give a rest to your eyes. It'll give a rest to your neck and help you recall more. So your study will become more effective if in that 1 minute you're trying to recall what you've read. So do this every 15 minutes. Every hour or so, take a 5 minutes walking break. Go for a walk. And in those 5 minutes, you can try to recall and organize the information that you have gathered in the previous 1 hour. So because as a student, I can understand that, yes, sometimes it may feel that why take a break of 5 minutes? No, taking a break is not taking a break from the studies. That break is for your eyes, for your neck, for your body, to improve the circulation to your brain. And also in that break, you can try to recall what you read in the previous hour or so. So, and in the exams, remember, it is not what you studied what is important, it is what you recall what is more important. So spend that 5 to 10 minutes of rest time to improving your recallability. And also the other thing, most important thing is sleeping at night time. So if you're working for say 8 hours in a day or 10 hours in a day on the screen, and they're driving back to going to the office, driving to the office and back to the office, which is also visually strenuous, and spending some time on the phone and watching some TV or reading some newspaper, throughout the day you're working very, very hard. You're actually abusing your eyes. You must take at least 8 hours of regular timed sound restful sleep at night, nothing short of 8 hours. So don't mess up with your sleep. Regular time sleep. Don't do late nights. children, especially these days. I don't know why all the kids and teenagers are, having this fancy of staying up late at night, chatting with their friends late at night. Please avoid that. Spend enough time with your friends, spend enough time on your screen, talk to your friends, have your social life, no denying that, but take care of your body. Your body is your only tool in which you can do things in this life, in this world. You can enjoy this life only through your body. To take it as a tool, like you take care of your phone, like you take care of your gadgets, like you take care of your toys. Your body is your best toy, your best gadget. Take care of your body, take care of your eyes.
So, do as the doctor says, Mr. Rahul. The next one has been asked by the organizer himself, Mr. Vivek. He questions that the Blu-ray lens, are they just a marketing gimmick, or is there some efficacy guaranteed? And you have mentioned about Blu-ray lens
Yes,
in.
so it is actually, there are only some recent studies which show some sort of damage to the retina by prolonged exposure to the Blu-rays. There is no confirmed, there is no definitive evidence, no. So yes, it could very well be a marketing gimmick to sell those lenses or those glasses, no. And but there's no definitive evidence. Some studies have shown some damage, some studies have shown some protection with the thing. So if somebody has to use plain glasses, there's no harm in having a Blu-ray. Every glass, by the way, every glass will cut out some degree of Blu-rays. So even if you just take any plain glass without a Blu-ray filter, it'll cut out the UV light, it cut out the Blu-ray at all, it cut out the harmful radiation. So even if you don't want to go for Blu-ray filter, just go for plain glass. That is good enough. But more than the glasses, eye exercises, taking the break, sleeping well is what is more important, what is more helpful. Glasses alone will not serve any purpose at all. If you wear glasses and you think things will be okay, no, they will not be okay. So rest, exercise, sleep is an absolute must.
The video was on and we can see that the learning was taken. So next one is from Siddhi Goyat. They ask, can we use Refresh Tears, which is supposedly a commercial eye drop?
Yes, you can use
What
that.
is
There are a lot of simple lubricant eye drops available in the market. Refresh Tears, Tears Plus, Tears Natural, Eye Mist. So there are a lot of tear substitute eye drops which are available. You can use. They're quite safe, and just make sure that when you use it for the first time, look out for an allergy. If there's no allergy to those eye drops, you can continue to use them. So best is to put one eye drop once only in one eye. Wait for say about 12 hours or so, see the effect. If it is not causing any allergy in terms of redness, irritation, swelling in the eye, then you can continue to use that. And better still would be to consult an eye specialist, an ophthalmologist, and before you start any kind of eye drops.
Thank you, sir. Next one is from Mihir. He asks, if is the use of projector preferred over the use of large screens?
Yes, definitely, because in projector, the light which is coming to you is a little less. And it's a larger screen and spaced further away from the eye, so that way it is helpful. But again, if you sit in front of a projected screen also for long duration, it'll have more or less, a lot of strain effect on your eyes also. So there also, so larger screen also, you have to take breaks, you have to give rest to your eyes. Yes, the strain is less on the eyes, but it's not that the strain is not there. Every screen, big or small, will cause strain to the eyes, will cause discomfort to the eyes. So you have to take frequent breaks, you have to give rest to your eyes, you have to take sleep, you have to exercise your eyes.
So the next one is from Mr. Sujit. He asks, his mother suffers through Sjögren syndrome. Still, she insists to watch TV all day long. What can be done since her eyes are extremely dry?
So we have a child complaining of the mother now. Great. Normally it is the other way around. When mothers complain, the kids spend a lot of time on the screens. So the Sjögren syndrome is an autoimmune disorder which can cause a severe degree of dryness in the eyes. And so there, a frequent use of lubricant drops is an absolute must. Use of glasses is required to prevent tear evaporation. Some medicines to increase tear secretion is required. The treatment of the syndrome itself is required. But yes, I would advise that person who suffers from Sjögren syndrome, has severe dry eye, should cut down the screen time to what is minimum required. So it's a question of watching television. So television is, yes, entertainment is required, but entertainments are something which we can actually put a control on. We can decrease it. So my advice would be to cut down the screen time to what is the minimum required.
So the next one is from Animesh. He asks, sir, how to avoid rubbing of eyes if it has been a habit since childhood?
Uh, so if you, as I said, if you take frequent breaks while you're working on the screen, if you exercise your eyes regularly, if you maintain all those lifestyle change in hygiene, if you sleep well, your eyes will be rested. There'll not be any stimulus to rub the eyes. So there's no irritation in the eye. There'll be no need to rub the eye. That is one thing which you need to do. So you should, decrease the stimulus to rub the eye. And then if, as a habit, if you're rubbing, then it's best to like take your time off your eyes, shut your eyes and just palm your eyes. That may help. Using ice packs on the eyes will also help. So maybe every hour or so you can apply some ice packs in your eyes to soothe the eyes. So once the eyes are soothed, you may not need to rub them.
Sir, Anshika has asked to name some useful and soothing eye drops.
Well, I cannot prescribe any medicine like this. I can only say if generically, if lubricant eye drops available over the counter can be used. Clean cold water can be used to wash your eyes once or twice a day. A medical grade rose water is also safe enough, but it's better to consult somebody before you use any medication. However, more important than medicine is taking care of your eyes otherwise. So frequent breaks, enough sleep, convergence eye exercise is more important than the eye drops. And I'm sorry, I'm repeating again and again because I cannot overemphasize the importance of these things. So what happens is people say, okay, fine, give me some eye drop and I should be all right. No, you will not. The eyes will not become comfortable unless you take frequent breaks, unless you exercise your eyes.
Himanshi and Aryan, can you please mute your mics? It would be great for us. We would be grateful to you. So the next one is from Akanksha. She asks, sir, is contact lens a better option than specs?
Contact lenses give better quality of vision. They're aesthetically better in those terms. But if you have to work long hours on the screen, I would advise against that. So anybody who has to spend long hours on the screen, while you're working on the screen, use glasses. Because contact lenses cause more strain of convergence. Because the eyes have to converge more with the lenses on. It causes more dryness because the tears evaporate faster from the lenses. The lenses itself absorb tears now. So while working on the screens for long duration, contact lenses are not advisable.
Mr. Mohit has asked, which type of lenses are good? Plastic, glass, anti-glare, or any other type?
He's talking about the lenses in the spectacles. No, so plastic lenses are lighter, so they're more comfortable. And regarding the coatings and all, anti-glare coating and those coatings, you may or may not go for that. And they don't. If the number is high, then anti-glare coating, is helpful if you actually have a lot of lights in your environment. No, but if you're sitting in a normal lit room, and your number is not too high, then there's no special need for any coating as such. No. So a plastic lens is good enough. The glass lenses are gives better quality of vision, but they're slightly heavier. No. So for lower numbers, they're good enough, they're comfortable, but for higher numbers, they become too heavy to be worn for long duration. Also for younger children who are really, playing very actively, plastic lenses are better because if they bump into something, a glass lens can break and hurt the eye. A plastic lens will not break, will not hurt the eye. So plastic frame is what I recommend for younger children.
So, any Ayurvedic medication on daily basis for healthy eyes? Can you suggest some?
I'm an allopathic doctor. I'm not supposed to be advising Ayurvedic medicine also legally. And however, Ayurvedic medicine is supposed to be safe, but you can consult an Ayurvedic physician for that. So guys, I would say that, don't go for home remedies, right? See, like I, being a doctor myself, I'm not advising you for any Ayurvedic medicine. Not that anything is wrong with them, nothing wrong with them, but I'm not supposed to be doing that. Similarly, you are not a physician yourself. You should not be taking medicines on your own. If there's a need for medicine, that means you have a significant problem in your eyes. You must consult an eye doctor, an ophthalmologist, an eye surgeon, and then take the medicine, then follow the advice.
So Hemant has asked which light is better for eyes to study, either yellow bulb or white light, or in dark dark while using phones and laptops. Which one is the better option?
So first of all, see the illumination, the background illumination or the ambient illumination should be somewhat similar to the screen illumination. So it should not be so that the background is too dark or too bright compared to the screen. So the background lighting should be matching with the screen more or less. The screen can be marginally brighter than the background, but not too much brighter, not too much darker. In total dark, looking at the screens is not a good idea. Yes, just waking up at night to look at the time or any odd message is fine, but don't spend long duration looking at the screens in complete darkness. No. So have some light on, white light, yellow light. It is entirely up to you. It's your choice. Both lights are quite good, no, as long as the light is not too bright or not too low. No? And yes, some people say that bluish light or white light can disturb your sleep to some extent. So warm light is better. But again, it's a personal choice. You can choose the light that you want to. But make sure that there is enough ambient light matching with the screen. There should not be any light source directly in front of you, so causing glare in your eyes when you're looking at the screens. So a diffuse, uniform, indirect lighting is better.
Thank you for the answer. I guess I'll be picking a few more, and we have this one from Arun, since he is willing for an answer for his question. Hi, doctor. I experience dryness of eyes at times. What should I do? Plus, at times, especially after using my mobile, I feel a strain on my eyes and blurriness in either my left or right eye. What should I do? I have cylindrical error in my left eye.
So, as Aryan has himself said, the cause is the screen usage, right? So, you have to cut down the screen time, number one. And all the precautions which I told in my talk, keep the screen further away from your eyes, take frequent breaks, take enough sleep at night time, cut down the screen time, use larger screen slightly higher up, further away from the eyes. So take these precautions now. And every 10-15 minutes sit back, close your eyes, give your eyes a minute's rest. Every hour or so, take a short break and come back and work again. Do convergence eye exercises to strengthen your eyes. Do eye yoga. Take care of your diet, nutrition, and water intake also. Do physical exercise. So everything that I've told in my talk for computer vision syndrome is what is applicable here also. And there's no magical quick fix available for this problem. You will have to take frequent breaks. You'll have to do convergence exercises. You'll have to take enough sleep. You'll have to cut down screen time. There's no running away from that. And if you don't do that, you'll have problems again and again. And you would not want to have these problems before the exams or at a time where you have some deadlines to be met, when there's some project is going on. So you would not want to have those problems then. So it's better to start working on your eyes now and keep working on them so that you don't face problem when the time is critical for you.
So we have this one from Renu, and she asks, what is the right age to get a squint operated, and does more screen time increase it, like makes the case worse?
Okay, squint can be of various types and there can be various causes. There are some squints which require surgeries. There's some squints which have become okay with the glasses only. Squints usually manifest early in life, early in childhood. They should be diagnosed early and treated as early as possible. So if this type of squint is such that which needs glasses, then using glasses is an absolute must. Secondly, all squints, whether they're corrected by glasses or whether they require surgeries or whether they do not require surgeries, they definitely need eye exercises. So the exercise which I told you, the convergence exercise, the rotation exercise, they help all types of squint. So those should be done regularly. But the bottom line is, the squint should be managed as early as it is seen. So if you notice squint in a child, consult a squint surgeon or eye surgeon at the earliest and follow their advice. Whether the screen usage can worsen it, yes. Some form of squint which are not present all the time, they manifest sometimes, what we call the intermittent squint. That is, squint is seen sometimes, it is not seen at other times. those are the squints which become more manifest, so they show up when the eye muscles are weakened or eye muscles are fatigued, and can typically happen after prolonged screen usage. So there again, cut down the screen time, do regular eye exercises. For those people, regular eye exercises twice a day is a must for the lifetime. So use your glasses, do regular eye exercises, cut down the screen time, sleep well, and follow the advice of your eye surgeon.
So I'll be picking the second last one. This is of some concerned parent. He asks, my son is suffering from eyesight issues when he was 2 years. His number was 8 at that time. Now also his number has reduced. It has become 7 now. He suffers from headache, but doesn't leave TV or mobile. What do you suggest for him?
Doesn't leave TV or mobile. Is that what you said?
He doesn't leave TV or mobile.
So see, probably the child has got what is called congenital high myopia, that the very high myopic minus number has been present since birth or very early in life. No, this is the kind of number that usually does not increase very much. It's already very high. The cause of headache is not the glasses number. The cause of headache is the screen time. So TV and mobile, that is the cause of headache. Unless you remove the cause, the headache will not go away. So even if the child does regular eye exercises, if he wears glasses, he will still land up with headache and eye strain if the screen usage is inordinate. So cut down the screen time, get your child into some outdoor activity, lure him into some outdoor sports, play with him, take him outside, get him interested in doing some physical sports, and so that the screen time is good. Do some carrot and stick game with him and give him some incentive to stay away from screens. So that is the first thing which you need to do. Cut down the screen time. Also remember that small screens placed closer by are more problematic than larger screen. So TV is better than phone, and so smaller the screen, closer it's placed, the worse it is for the eyes now. So tell him not to use the phone. He can still watch TV. So you can give him an option, either phone or TV. And TV, okay, we can allow him more TV and less phone. So play some game with him, some trick, so that the screen time is cut down. Adequate sleep at night time is very important. The child must sleep on time for about 8 to 10 hours. Say a 6-year-old child, he needs about 9 to 10 hours of sleep every day. Make sure that he takes enough sleep at night time. And meals should be on time, plenty of water intake, plenty of physical activities required. Get his eyes checked up to make sure that he's wearing the correct glasses also. Plus the eye exercises need to be done.
Can I ask you a question, Dr. Sanjay?
Sure, definitely.
Lovely, thank you. I am both long-sighted and short-sighted. So when I'm working, which we're all working at home due to COVID, I could be sat at my computer between 10 and 11 hours a day. And then I need glasses when I'm walking around or if I'm driving. So obviously I've got both. I did go and see an optician and asked whether eye surgery would be an option for me to correct both. And they said no. They said they can only correct one. They can either correct it so that I don't have to wear my glasses when I'm working, so reading, for example, but they can't do both. Is that the case? Is that what your sort of
these
belief
days it is possible to do both the distance and near correction also. So we have got what is called the presbyopic LASIK, which can correct the eyes for both the distance and near, but there is some customization required. There's some compromises required in that thing. But that will not take care of the strain which you've experienced due to long hours on the screen. Okay. So you'll still need to do eye exercises. You'll still need to take care of your eyes otherwise, and still need to take rest. But yes, the glasses number for both distance and near can be corrected by presbyopic LASIK.
Lovely, thank you.
For sure.
Adding to the time constraints, I'll be able to pick only 2 more. So this one's from a user, from an attendee. He asked, I find wearing my specs for long periods due to work can also cause really bad headaches. What recommendations do you have? I also get dry eyes. So what drops do you recommend? We get Optrex in the UK for dry eyes. Would this be okay to use regularly?
So a lubricant eye drop available over the counter is fine, can be used regularly. And it is not the glasses which are giving rise to the pain and the discomfort. It is long hours of screen time which is causing the pain and the discomfort. So frequent breaks, enough rest to the eyes, enough sleep at night time, visual hygiene, cutting down the screen time, regular meals, plenty of water intake. So all those things I'm repeating over and over again because that is the answer for all these things. No? So long hours on the screen is bound to cause discomfort and problem. You have to cut down the screen time to what is minimum required. You have to take frequent breaks. You have to give your eyes enough rest. No? I'll give you one small example. Have you ever tried to stand for long duration? Can you stand for the entire day? No. What will happen is after 1 or 2 hours of standing, you will be tired. You will have pain in the legs. But see, we are doing this to our eyes day in, day out. It's very easy to look at a screen nearby, but if you continue to focus at near distance for long duration, you're straining your eyes, you're actually abusing your eyes. No? Please don't do that. No? So you have to cut down the screen time, you have to take enough rest.
Okay, so this is the last one that we are picking. This is from Mr. Mayank. He has asked, Doctor, I have a headache when I go in sunlight without my shades. Is it something to worry?
Some people are prone to headaches which can be triggered by a few things like sunlight, bright flashing light, heat, crowded places, loud sounds. Typically, migraine-like headaches or migraines can be triggered, can have some trigger. There's no harm, but you should just take care of wear shades, wear sunshades, wear sunglasses, take care of for that. Again, there also regular time sleep, regular time meals, plenty of water intake is a must. It helps in a great deal. Plus, eye exercise will also help you because the eyes will feel less strained going out in the sun. But yes, you should wear sunglasses and sunshades.
So thank you, Dr. Dhawan, for honoring us with your presence and taking time out of your busy schedule to remind us the preciousness of the gift of sight. The Success Mantra Club is grateful to Click to Click Clinic and the chairman, Dr. Sujit Reddy, for this dynamic collaboration. We await for more. I take the utmost pleasure in thanking our dearest faculty coordinators, Dr. Shilpi Mahajan and Dr. Shruti Mehta for making this event possible. And how can I even dare to end the show without being grateful and thankful to my dearest attendees, who were so patient yet so inquisitive throughout the session. So thank you so much everyone for joining in. Take care, सावधान रहें, स्वस्थ रहें, धन्यवाद.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on the show.
And please, just before everyone leaves, we are dropping in the feedback form. Kindly fill it. We will love to see your response, and we can organize many more events like these in the future. Please fill the feedback form. It has been sent by Naman Bhatia in the chat box. Please do fill it. Thank you so much for joining in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.